What a crazy, crazy day today. We had really nothing much pre-market except CBIO. CBIO gave a solid front side pre-market, and GOVX gave some solid action, kind of pre-market here. Super chart. Look at this chart. It's completely insane. And guess who got caught in this flush? I did. And you know what? Here it is, all the way midday. It's already up another. It's up 80%. It completely reclaimed that high, ripped. And I'm watching it right here. I might be going for this break. See, I would be going for this breakout, but because of this breakout here, setting up similarly, I'm not trying to get caught in one of these again. So you know what? If it goes without me, it goes without me. GOVX is just not my friend. So I'm actually down on GOVX, $22. I traded 5 different stocks. Finished the day up 147. I just made one quick trade there on RDBX just a second ago for a quick $40, $45 for on this 1 minute pullback and then the breakthrough 7. Got a nice $40 on that. I was sweating though because it's midday. I was up like $100 on the day after already giving back $50. So my high on the day was you can see started red, small green, small red, and then I was up the highest at 150, and then I gave some back off, and then I made that one last trade in RDBX. I was actually red for $40, so I was down maybe only up 60 on the day, and I was like ready. I was ready. I was so disappointed because I was like, well, here we go. It was a midday trade, giving back profits. And then RDBX finally, it had some resolution. We broke through $7, closed it immediately for a quick $40 gain, and that put me back up to 150. That's about my daily goals, about $150. I did size up again. I'm trying to size and start doing 40 share increments. I was doing 200 share increments last week, and then the week before that I was doing 100 share increments, and then the week before that I was doing 50 share increments. So today I jumped it to 400 share increments. However, every trade that I took was not on 400 share increments because just there's so much lack of follow through, and my confidence is a little bit shot the past few days. I've just been very hesitant on trades and not as confident as I would like to be. Which is could be a good thing because a lot of these, look at these, like how choppy all these charts are, and you shouldn't be 100% trusting the market setups right now. I mean, a lot of these setups aren't working out. A lot of fake outs and a lot of inconsistent volume. So, there is a reason not to be 100% confident trading the past few days. And, me not being confident, I'm still able to walk away green, even though, I'm not as aggressive and confident as I would like to be. I'm still able to walk away green. And that's just by, taking, being more very, very selective on my setups. On my entries, not averaging, not putting too much risk on the table without any sort of confirmation, and then taking off immediately as I get a resolution on a breakout or a break of a key level, taking my profits and just not, really looking for a full front side move because it just hasn't been happening, and that has been keeping me green. But I would like to trade with 400 share increments moving forward. It's definitely gonna be a little bit outside my comfort zone as far as P&L wise. I'm not going to be used to seeing as big numbers to the losing side and to the winning side. So it's definitely going to give me a little bit of anxiety and nervousness moving forward. So, but that's what it takes to to make bigger gains. I want to get to the level where I'm making enough monthly and weekly to not have to have a day job or not to have a full-time job on top of this. And this is just what I need to go through to get to that level, to that elite level of trading. that everybody wants to get to is just by, you know, trusting your strategy, trusting all the experience that you've been having in the market. And there goes GOVX, and sizing up. I don't know if I'm going to start chasing this up here. Let's see if we get closer to $3. Freaking A, man. GOVX, crazy. Oh my God. I knew for some reason after this flush, you know, once it made this 5-minute high here on this candle, I was like, oh, Jesus, someone's accumulating this. This is going to rip back up midday or by end of day, and then here it is. Crazy. 50% off that flush of the low of the flush back in the morning. I can't trade this. I can't trade. It's 2:30. I traded 3.5 hours in the morning. You know, I'm at my daily goal. I cannot trade this right now at 2:30. I would kick myself in the butt if I just started giving back profits right now. I'm happy, you know, at my daily goal, and it's just not the best day to be pushing my luck this late in the day. So I think I'm definitely finishing it up here. So if it goes to $3 or $4 or $5, then maybe I'll think about trading it, or if it squeezes into a halt. But you know, I'm not chasing this right now. So let's go over some of these trades. SNMP. This I traded. I think I had one trade on this. Yeah, I traded this looking for the break of 76 cents. Never really got it. Volume was light. I just cut the loss. Moved on. Minus $3 right off the bat. Then GOVX. Here we go. Pre-market. We got this 1-minute pullback. So I sized it on this first 1-minute pullback for a breakout, but we kind of stalled a little bit. However, there was still some support I was seeing on the tape. So I did take this off for a small win and then added back at 96 after it broke this high. And I was looking for a move of $2, but it was too soon. So it needed to pull back a little bit more. I took the loss there, 5-cent loss, 400 shares, waiting for a better entry. I bought on this candle here thinking we'd see a push real quick. But it kept flushing more. I was getting a little bit nervous, but I averaged down. You know, I saw it was still support. But, you know, I was so kind of underwater here, 1,200 shares, and I was a little bit underwater. I started closing it out break even, and then there it goes. It rips, and then I got caught chasing at 96 for the break, and I pretty much shook myself out, and I only was able to get maybe about 8 cents. But no, about 10 cents on 400 shares. That's about $40. I could have, you know, it could have been such a bigger win. But I was just, you know, a little bit too much underwater on the pullback. I should have waited a little bit longer and got a better entry, a better average around 85. You know, at this point I was down maybe 6 or 7 cents underwater, already averaging down, and that's not very comfortable for me. And that completely threw off my whole trade. And I wasn't able to pivot and get more aggressive and confident chasing this rip through the high. I was just, you know, I wasn't thinking that this market could give much. You know, it really didn't. But I missed out on a potential 5%, 5 to 10% move. Being too conservative up here. I should have been adding more aggressively here since I didn't hold down here. But I thought I was chasing at this point. Something felt off. You know, when I close my position break even and then I'm jumping back in chasing it when I should have just held. That's like the worst feeling ever. And it completely butchered this trade. $40, you know what, I'll take it. But, you know, I could have done so much better. And then here at the open, kind of just put in my first position here. Looking for a rip. But then we pulled back kind of hard, closed it for a small loss, and then added back. Same situation. You know, I was too early. You know, I was impatient, and then it pulled back too much, which was the perfect entry if I got in here. But because I was entered here, my psychology was off, and I was too much underwater to be averaging down. And so my risk reward was off because I had a bad entry. So I closed it break even, and then again I'm chasing it back into the high when I should have just held. And that's just the theme of GOVX that completely messed everything up. And I finished down $22 because of here. I was actually up on it $22, but then here I was accumulating, as it was moving higher, taking a couple scalps, scalping the range. And then I was holding maybe still 200 shares or so. Sorry, 400 shares or so at 22, looking for a break of this high and a rip through 230, maybe up to 250, and then immediate sell off down to the 90 MA at 207 before ripping false halting down to 170. I was able to get out at 213, thank God, because if I didn't, wow, that would have ruined my day. So thank God that didn't happen. But yeah, that flush here caused me to be red on the stock. And this was the theme. This was the theme. Get caught. I got caught chasing, and I should have held. From my first entry. Here, or I should have. The good entry here was actually the reclaim of the VWAP and then the break of this pivot point. That was the entry for the potential breakout. But I was caught chasing up here. I kind of deserved it. I don't know. I mean, at least I cut my loss pretty quick there. But yeah, these past two, I had 3 shots at this, and I completely butchered every single one. So not to be too hard on myself, but yeah, I mean, I really should have been more patient on these pullbacks. I should have waited for the proper entry and then adding into confirmation instead of selling for break even and then getting caught chasing at the high, which is not good. So got to be a little bit more patient. I could have a massive green day on GOVX, especially with the share size that I'm using. Could have been a massive green day, but I'm okay with the 147. It's a solid base hit for me, and this is how I learn. To be more patient, waiting for it to pull back instead of, just, blindly entering and then thinking that, it's just going to resolve real quickly and the pullback is not going to take 10 minutes. Because when a pullback does take 10 minutes, I'm underwater 10 cents. I start to get in my head too much and then I'm averaging down and then I'm too heavy on the pullback. And then 1 cent below that support, I'm going to be, freaking out. I'm going to want to just panic sell, and then it's going to reclaim and then get back up to break to a potential, break even point where I was at, and then rip higher, and then I'm going to buy higher. That's what is happening on GOVX, and I can't be doing that. That's got to stop moving forward. Now let's look at the CBIO. This was another good stock pre-market. Missed this front side, however, got a dip. However, it's under $1, so I don't like under $1 stocks. It's not my favorite. So it's relatively small size. Just kind of scalping this range here. We had a false breakout here, so that kind of threw me off, and I kind of just really stopped trading it. But all in all, CBIO, I'm actually up $75 on that. Which trade was that I made $75? So here was about a break-even trade. Yeah, so it was here. So here, I don't even remember taking this trade. So we get this 1 minute pullback under the 90 EMA, reclaimed. So I added at 105 for the break of 110. So my first entry is 105, and then added 1,400 shares at 107, and taking that off at 109 on the potential breakout, right at the breakout level, and then added back at 10995, and for the break of that. Still holding actually 800 shares from my previous entry, and I was able to take that off at 112, so that was a really good trade, and that I made $75 on that, so that's really solid CBIO. But thank God it was over $1 because it gave you a nice range of 10. This is 11% move from my first entry. But you know, anything under $1, you know, it just seems to be harder to manage risk on. It's harder to read the tape. You know, the level 2 is just a lot thicker, and the active trader ladder, there's just so many increments that you can't even read the active trader ladder. So I'm pulling up the level 2 and it's just stacked, and it's so hard to, you know, to tell when the ask or the bid is thinning out. So that's why I don't like to trade under $1. So then let's go to RDBX, which is the other stock. Ripped up into a halt. So I saw it was already in a halt up. And then once it resumed, I saw that there's buyers supporting at 620. So I bought at 622 and I got a nice 10 cents on that, kind of just trading the range. And then it dipped back down below again. And the high here was 650. So I was looking for it to break at 650. And so 1,000 shares I was in at 25, took some off break even. But held the rest and then added at 648 as it reclaimed this the halt level and moving back up towards the previous high, which at now was at 660. And I was looking for the break of 660 and added at 648, broke 650 and 660, and I was taking off at 667, 654, and 650. And I was able to walk away with a nice profit there. Then we had a 1 minute pullback to the 90 EMA, but you know, wasn't really much buyers there. Took that off break even. And then here we were looking for. Here I took a trade. Actually, I think this might have been a loss. Here I took a trade at 81, looking for the breakout. However, I couldn't get a good sell on it, and I actually took a 10-cent loss on 100 shares. So 10-cent loss there. And I think the first trade was actually, yeah, it was a break-even trade. And then I tried buying the first 1 minute pullback after a fresh breakout. But, you know, I had to cut it because the market is really weak and it just took so long. So, you know, I wanted to see buyers come in immediately and reclaim and break through 7. But we never got it, and I had to close that. And then until eventually, just recently, we got that resolution through 7. So I added, here I actually chased it on this candle, 691. Again, that same theme of just, you know, I'm chasing it here, and then it's pulling back, and I'm finding myself underwater, and that makes me hella nervous, and I can't make the proper decision to hold or to average down, and then sometimes I average down, which I did in this case. I was really nervous. Added another 200 shares. This is at 2:20 in the afternoon. I shouldn't even be trading. Thank God it worked out. It took a couple minutes to resolve, but so I added at 676. I was in 400 shares with an average of maybe 684. Take some off for break even to kind of manage my risk, and then I add back at 688, and then we finally got that breakthrough 7 and take it off. I made nice $400 on that. So thank God that did work out, but you know, see, I'm even on this trade, it worked out in my favor, but my entry was off. I had a 691 entry. I kind of chased on this candle way off the 90 EMA. I should have waited for the pullback so I can get that proper entry. And then adding in the confirmation, my first entry should have been down here, not at 691, because, you know, if I'm holding through that pullback, I'm already underwater, and then I'm averaging down, I'm in a bigger risk that I would like to be at, so I can lower my average, but that's not the right play to have, because, you know, if it did dip down below that 9 EMA, an extra maybe 5 or 10 cents, before ripping up, I would have definitely closed the position, because I would be down potentially 30 cents since my first entry, and that's just not good. And that's just not, from a risk perspective, that's just not good. I should have waited. You know, I need to have more patience to get that right entry instead of chasing into the highs. I think I had a little bit of FOMO here. I just saw it popping up towards 7. I was like, oh, it's going to break 7. So I just started buying blindly, just looking for a rip. And in a hot market, that's a good entry, and it would rip through 7 without having that pullback. But because it's a colder market, I need to be a little bit more patient so I can get that proper entry. And that was RDBX. And then I had SIGA, I had a trade at near the open. So we rejected off the VWAP and we kind of pulled back to the 9 EMA. I thought this would just be, a bounce off the 9 EMA and a rip through the VWAP. So it's kind of accumulating down here. My first entry was at 499 and then I averaged down 492 and averaged down again at 1479. Sort of the same theme, chasing into this first rip, thinking we'd get immediate, continuation through VWAP, but because cold market, it's just not having that oomph that these stocks usually have in a hot market, and so I'm finding myself getting stuck on a pullback underwater and then determining whether or not to average down or to just cut it, and then it ends up, a lot of times it goes without me. Because of that, but this time, it was a smart move to actually cut it there, because it did have a really nasty backside. So that's it. I definitely cannot be trading any longer. I don't want to be doing anything stupid this late in the day. I'm up 147. I have a lot of other things to do, so definitely not going to be trading power hour. Hit my daily goal, and now it's time to walk away and come back tomorrow and have another solid green day, and not try to overtrade. I did overtrade a little bit today, but it did kind of work out because I was selective in my trade on RDBX. But other than that, I definitely need to be a lot more patient in the market. But it is getting very tiresome of not having a very hot market, because I want to make some. I want to excel. I want to see a stock rip and get really aggressive. But it's just not like that. So I just need to weather the storm here. So that's it, and I'll see you guys on the next day trading recap. All right, peace.